planet Earth, home to a myriad of unique and fascinating creatures. Tonight, we'll be looking at a fascinating migration that only happens once a year, of the first-year physical therapy students to the wild streets of Tacoma. We have before us a habitat map of all of the PT students in America. As you can see, the Northwest region is scarcely habitated, which leads to some very peculiar behavioral characteristics of the PT students in this particular area. Tonight, we'll look at their adaptation to the wild streets of Tacoma. 36 students have been located here that come from places as far as Hawaii and Alaska and even the province of Holyoke. The most obvious behavioral change is their manner of communication. Since these unique creatures have migrated from all around the continent, they have adapted their speech patterns accordingly, and even created a new way to count.
6, 7, 8, 1, L2, 3, 4, 5.
In the early stages of migration, they can be unsure as to how to communicate with one another, which often leads to a frantic verbal frenzy of near unrecognizable speech.
And the pads. Dabs, pads, dabs, pads.
I am yes.
Spondylitis. Ankylosing spondylitis. Pea brain.
Zygopomphyseal. Manubrium. Dabs, pads, dabs, pads.
Attached to the tibia and fibia.
Ligamentum crucis.
Extensor digitorum.
And then definitely.
I came in like a wrecking ball.
Their second most obvious change is their change in diet. They've adapted remarkably quickly and developed new foraging habits centered around this location, which they found has remarkably high abundance of available prey. Now we'll quickly hear from some experts on the physical therapy students' eating habits.
So you like to forage. I think you do like to eat.
Really, you can kind of tell their eating habits based on what's sticking out of their teeth. So we get a nice, funk from the smells and the remnants from last week's dinners and breakfasts. And, so we really get a good idea, a good clear vision of the eating habit.
Ah, here's one now. Look at the focus on its face as it stalks its prey. We'll check on him in a moment. Here are several students who have already stalked and caught their meal. Notice the extreme satisfaction they take in ripping the flesh off their prey with every bite. Back to our friend here, it seems as though he is finally getting ready to pounce. It seems our first-year friend here isn't the only one who knows where to find a good meal. It is here we see the PT students in their most fragile environment, flailing their limbs aimlessly in hopes of better understanding themselves. With the absence of any real predators in their new habitat, these creatures have adopted a group mentality and some postural changes in order to expend less energy. For more insight, we take you now to a pre-recorded interview with experts in the field of the species' methods of energy conservation.
Occasionally, I get the look of watching TV. I do. The look of watching TV. Glazed over. Zombies. Statistics.
Simply a beautiful display of a unique animal characteristic.
We've had just some issues with certain kinds of facial expressions. Some of them are a little loose in the muscles of mastication, and so often their jaws are hanging down a little bit lower than we'd like.
Despite the expert opinion, it would appear that this behavior is actually a learned behavior. This condition is known as mentalis processus bophasis. In addition to energy conservation, the group has developed a pack mentality acting, and smelling as a functional unit. Let's hear what our experts have to say on this phenomenon.
So the first year class has a group mentality. They go everywhere in groups. They walk out of my classroom and they group up in the hallway, and no one can walk around them. And then they walk as a group back to Weyerhaeuser Hall, where people have to dodge left and right to get around them. And then they, as a group, walk up the stairs in Weyerhaeuser Hallway to their next class.
This is seen here, as the PT students seem to have developed a sense of superiority to the other species that share their ecosystem, displaying a complete disregard for other walks of life. Let's hear some more from our experts.
Well, they tend to move in flocks or gaggles. I think it's because, the stink that surrounds the group kind of has to stay. It's like pheromones. They kind of like to stay within their own stink. So they have to keep that kind of cloud of stink, and they move it from place to place. Because if they diverge from one another, then they don't have that good collective stink that's going on.
All I wanted was to break your walls.
With this stink and collective superiority, they have developed several forms of idol worship.
I saw Sarah Shapiro wearing army pants and flip-flops, so I bought army pants and flip-flops.
In addition, like butterflies to nectar-filled blossoms, these strange creatures have taken a real predilection to a particular deity. They rarely travel without him, which we shall call the Holy Netter, and will gaze upon these pages for hours at a time. On occasion, this worship leads to competitions for who is the spiritual leader of the gaggle.
My netter is better than your netter. Check out my grade 6 manipulation. Huh!
Needless to say, this ideology may not always be best for the survival of their species. This devotion has even impacted some individuals' copulation habits.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. 'Cause you make me feel so brand new.
It appears as though we've caught up to our familiar friend in its most natural environment, and it appears as though he's finally caught his prey. Let's have a look.
I agree.
This is a prime example of how far the species has come since its initial migration. Now we'll look at a pre-recorded interview on the specific differences with this particular class to the PT students closely related to it.
All you ever did was wreck me.
Well, we've labeled this group Cacophony 2016. I've had the opportunity to take a look at them over the past 3 months or so, and we've observed them in their natural habitat, hopefully not intruding too much, so we see their usual behavior. And a number of kind of interesting things have emerged. One is that this particular cacophony of students, this cohort, has almost expanded and redefined the kind of professional contributions that a physical therapy student can make. Let me give you an example of that. Here we have one of the female members of the cacophony. This is subject 84576, and she has actually donated her anatomical snuff box of her left hand, which has some unusual and important features other people can learn from. This is also a female 67845, and she's made a generous donation already. I mean, even just in the first year of the program, she's given us a perfect 3-jaw chuck from her with which she can demonstrate perfect penmanship. Here we have the alpha male of the group. He's subject number 02134, and he has donated a segment of his brain. We see here he's given us the inferior temporal gyrus on the right hemisphere where useless trivia is stored, and so we have that now for future generations of students to benefit from. And in addition to those three, finally we have someone who, the first donation that was made was from another male subject, 09876. He actually donated the shirt off his back, for which we intend to put it to appropriate use in the educational program of the rest of our students. So I think what we're seeing from this group is the unusual rise, evolutionary development of what we're now, I think, appropriately calling altruistic philanthropy. And it means they can make more contributions than just treating patients. They can donate parts of their own body for the future education of their peers.
We now take you live to a very special broadcast.
Alright guys, we got PG Hunter take one. I'm your PG Hunter today. Look, we got a couple potential people over here. If we can pan over to the side here, we can see them there. We're gonna go check it out and see how they're doing. I'll be right over.
We get a burrito, and I said, I don't want the green tortilla. I want the flour tortilla.
I got him! I got one! I got it! We're gonna do a wunging test. We're gonna do a wunging test. This is a big one. Look at the guns. Look at the guns.
Oh dear.
Serious subscapularis going on here. Oh, we're gonna do a wung test. All right, here we go. Ready? Up. Serious wunging going on. Some serious wunging.
Oh no, is that bad?
Too many burritos. There's been too many burritos. Serious wunging.
The last
Look at this.
burrito was so big.
Look at the wunging. Serious wunging here. I could pull you by your wung. All right. Are you gonna be okay? Can I let you go?
I don't know. It's a winging.
PT Hunter, take two. Dorsiflexion.
And then I said, I only have 2 items, just the rice and the beans. I don't want...
All right, we're gonna check some dorsiflexion on this one. She's got excellent guns. I like it. Look at the wrist. You stay. Dorsiflexion of the ankle. Nice range. Are you getting this footage? Nice range. That is serious. All right, plantar flexion. That's hypermobile. Hypermobile. All right, we're gonna go. All right, guys. PT Hunter, take 3. We're gonna talk about muscles of facial expression. I'm gonna catch a good one.
And then I'm like, I want the mango salsa on my burrito. If they only had pico de gallo.
Take 2.
Oh wait, and I thought the jalapenos.
Take 3. PT, come in. Obviously, these ones are hard to catch, so I'm gonna use my dart. Here they come on 3, 2, dart a neck.
I sunk my teeth into the burrito, and it was delicious. You're crazy, man.
All right, we got it. Look, you step back, mate. Come on in here. Muscles of facial expression. Look at the sphincter on that one. What did I tell you? We got it, mate.
Majestic, beautiful, intrepid, curious. These are but few of many words that can describe the wonder that is imparted within each of these magnificent creatures. We thank you for joining us tonight, and to learn more about PT students, please visit your local library, as they will likely be studying there.
I came in like a wrecking ball.